Hello, friends! Sometimes life is so confusing and complicated that we can come to wrong conclusions and believe in something that was not really happening. And the worst thing is living with such feelings all of our life and not realizing that everything was actually different. Sometimes we can even hate a person without knowing the whole truth about them. Today, I will tell you a story that happened to a young girl several years ago. Diana grew up in Hawaii. Many years ago, her father was a photographer. Why do I say that it was long ago? Because the girl did not see him for many years. When her parents got divorced, Diana moved with her mother to another city and they began a new life. At first, her dad often came to his little daughter. He called and congratulated her on holidays, gave presents, and spent time with her, and he always helped financially. The girl felt his support and knew that she had a father. It often happens that adults break up, and this is the bitter truth. But the most important thing is that the parents should not forget their children. After all, it is important for kids to know that they have a mom and a dad. And Diana had a dad. She had one until she was 15. One day, he just disappeared. Since then, she never saw her father again, and she did not hear anything about him. The girl did not understand what she had done wrong, why he no longer came to visit her, and why he did not call. But what was even more offensive is he stopped helping her mother. Difficult times began for the woman whose daughter was still a teenager. They changed rental housing over and over again, moving from one apartment to another. For some time, they even had to stay with their relatives and friends, and they could hardly make ends meet. Of course, there were people who immediately came to the most unpleasant conclusion. Your ex-husband and loving father just left you. Probably he found a young wife and moved to another place with her, so he may be happy living somewhere far away now. No problem, his daughter is already a teenager, so you will find the way out by yourselves. Everyone said this, and Diana could do nothing but believe them. Every birthday, she waited for a call from her father. She stayed beside her phone, but it was treacherously silent for many years. Of course, Diana understood that he had the right to privacy, but she could not understand why he could not spend with her at least 1 hour a year. There were different rumors. People said that he had moved to the mainland. Others claimed that he had just not wanted to see them. The only thing that Diana now had from her dad was a great love for photography. Since childhood, the man taught his daughter this art. He had a large studio in the city center where he often brought Diana, and this had a great influence on her life. Being already an adult, she, like her father, became a photographer. In 2003, Diana took up a large-scale project for a public organization. The essence of her work was to photograph homeless people in the streets of cities, and through photographs inform society that they were people like everyone else, and the only difference was that they had no money and no home. She visited a huge number of U.S. cities and took several thousands of photographs, many of which were published in the media. She, just like her father before, opened her own studio and began to earn her living this way. She rarely recalled her father, considering him a traitor and the man who had abandoned them, and most likely she would have thought so until the end of her days, if not for just one case that had turned everything upside down. In 2013, the girl made a shocking discovery for herself. Looking through old photos from 10 years ago among hundreds of homeless people, one of the people attracted her attention. And looking closer and showing the photographs to her mother, she found among them her father, whom she had not seen for many years. It was a shocking discovery for them both. How could it have happened? Some people said that the street was the right place for such a liar, and there was no need to worry about him, because this is the retribution to him for what he did to his wife and daughter. But Diana did not listen to anyone. Without hesitation, the girl went to Honolulu with only one purpose: to find the one whom she had recently despised. I had been looking for my father for several weeks. I went around almost the whole city. Of course, there was little hope. After all, 10 years had passed. And as you know, anything could have happened during this time, Diana said later. She almost lost any hope that she would meet her father again. He probably moved to another place, or perhaps he was no longer alive. She tormented herself with questions and guesses, but continued searching. And what they say about the truth, one who seeks will always find. That is exactly what happened. One afternoon, she got lucky. The girl recognized him from afar. The last time she saw her father was when she was 15. Now he was sitting alone behind a garbage container, hiding under a bush in the shade. She was thinking for a long time what she would tell him, what her first words would be, how he would justify himself. But the girl got another shock. When Diana decided to speak with him, he did not recognize her at all, and all his behavior was strange. As the girl told later, "My father suffered from schizophrenia and talked to non-existent people. He was just sitting and arguing with someone, but there was nobody there except me and him." The daughter decided that she would not leave her father, and she was obliged to help him. Diana came to him daily and just spent time with him. She offered help, but her father always refused. Then the girl decided to use the thing which he inspired her with many years ago. It was photography. The only connection between her and her mentally ill father seemed to be through a camera. "We were flesh and blood, but we were strangers," Diana said. In October 2014, the man had a heart attack. Diana took him to the hospital at once and was staying with him the whole time. Despite the fact that he did not realize at all who he was and where he was, she nevertheless took him home from the hospital. The girl spent time with her father every day, just talking and showing him their old photos. They visited doctors together, and gradually he started recalling some details and fragments from his life. Diana gave her dad her old camera. "I gave it to my father. I hope to arouse his interest in photography again. This is how he earned his living and loved very much. Life is a gift. I am so happy that he is alive and that he is already getting better. I appreciate what we have here and now," Diana told. It was the daughter's great love that later returned the man to a normal life. Now Diana's father is fine. He continues treatment, and he even got a job and has plans to visit his relatives in South Korea. Now the man is healthy and hardly remembers his former condition. "My goal, long before my father became homeless, was to humanize those who live in the streets," Diana said. "Each of them has their own story, and each of them ended up there for various reasons. If I had not taken those random photographs, I would have considered my father a traitor, and I would have thought that he had just left us." Here was the story, friends. Anything can happen in life, and probably you should not make conclusions about a situation or a person if you are not completely sure that you are right. And this story is the best proof of this. Well, that is all for today. Rate the video, write your comments, and see you soon.